my name's Brittany, also affectionately known as the Little Bat. I hope you're all doing okay, and welcome to my channel. Hi everyone. So this is the first video that I have ever done. So I thought I would do a book recommendations video. You're probably wondering why you're not seeing my face. I'm dealing with some major anxiety issues at the moment. I'm autistic, and part of my autism is anxiety. So I've been dealing with that, and I'm also quite tired at the moment. I'm dealing with some major sleep issues. I've always had long-standing issues with sleep, but anyway, that's another topic for another video. I'm sorry if I tend to ramble. That's a bad habit that I've always had. Or if I tend to repeat myself. I'm sorry. I do try my best not to do that. But if it does happen, I apologize in advance. So if you're wondering why you're not seeing me, that's why. I'm going to try and film myself in my next video. And see if I can slowly try to get over some of the anxiety, depending upon how this one goes. Hopefully it all goes well, and you guys won't be too hard on me. So anyway, here we go. Here goes nothing. So I love reading. Reading is one of my special interests. It's helped me so much with my anxiety. And it's so important. Reading for fun is so important. It teaches imagination, concentration, patience, comprehension, memory skills, and it's just a really healthy pastime. It helps vocabulary, it helps memory, it helps just so much. And books can, in fact, be almost a substitute for friends when you're lonely. They can really help a lot. Actually, honestly, I wouldn't say almost. I would say that they can be a substitute for friends when you're lonely and you're feeling like your friends aren't exactly there for you. They can definitely help. And I'm very lucky that I happen to be have a wonderful husband who also loves to read too, so it works out well. So anyway, as you've probably figured out by now, these are the 5 books that I have to recommend to you. So these are just my opinions. I'm not trying to offend anyone with them. I'm not trying to upset anyone. I'm just trying to share some of my thoughts and my opinions on these books, and give some authors who I really love some more exposure, and try to join the YouTube community because I think it would be really fun, and I think I would really enjoy being a part of your community and sharing my thoughts with you guys. And I'm really honored for the opportunity to be a part of that. So, here we go. Let's just get into them. So the first book I have to recommend is Hex Hall by Rachel Hawkins. Now, I'll just show you the back. So it's about this girl named Sophie who finds out that she is a witch, and she is sent to this Hex Hall, which is basically a rehabilitation academy for supernatural teens. So it's kind of like a boarding school for like troubled teens, like troubled youth, who are supernatural. So you've got fairies, you've got witches, you've got vampires, you've got all that kind of stuff. And it's about how she goes from being this sort of typical high school girl who knows that she's a witch to this girl in this prodigum academy. I'm not going to get too much into the plot because I don't want to ruin it, but I'll just read on the back here. It says, then when a mysterious predator begins attacking students and Sophie's only friend is the #1 suspect, a horrifying plot begins to surface. Soon Sophie is preparing for the biggest threat of all, an ancient secret society determined to destroy all prodigum, especially her. So I picked this up. I thought it sounded interesting. Reading it, Rachel's writing it's really nice. It's very simple. It's very easy to read. It's something, I wouldn't say it's a book that's really makes you think a lot, or something that you really would sink your teeth into, or something that you would really read if you wanted to, think deeply and analyze in that. This is more of just a fun, sort of lighthearted read. It's good for, a day at the beach. It's, sorry. It's, so it's Rachel Hawkins. It's really only about, let me just see here. It's really only about, 251, 273, sorry, I'm just trying to find where the page numbers sort of stop here. 317, go back here. So at the end of the book, it has sort of a little sort of sampler of Demon Glass, which is the second book. It's a trilogy, as you can see. And it seems as though, so then we've got acknowledgements. So the book itself is, let's see, 323 pages. So that's not too bad. It's not overly short, but it's not, uber long either. So it's quite a nice medium-sized read. I think especially if you're, if you're just getting into YA, or if you're kind of, just looking for something, or even if you're into adult, and you've kind of read through YA, and you're just looking for something that's just, your kind of your stereotypical story, with maybe a few supernatural elements thrown in, just something that's nice and light. Maybe you're going for, like I said, for a day at the beach, or if you're traveling in the car and you just want something lighthearted to read while you're parked somewhere. You want to be able to easily put it down. You don't want to have to think about it too much, but you still want that that sort of escape. You want something to read. Then this would be something that I would definitely recommend picking up, especially if you like supernatural, if you're into that sort of thing. I would definitely pick this up. So the second book I have to recommend is Kenneth Oppel, Airborne. Sorry, Kenneth, if I didn't pronounce your last name properly. I've heard it pronounced Opal. I've heard it pronounced Appel. I say Opal, so I'm sorry if that's not pronounced properly. The best-selling author of Silverwing. I love Kenneth Opal's books. I absolutely adore them. I love his writing. His writing is beautiful, and he builds these worlds that you just get completely lost into, and the characters really do become your friends that you can put in your pocket and take with you anywhere. I mean, you care about them. You care about what happens to them, even after you've read the book multiple times. At least for me, I still care about what happens to the characters, even though, like the Silverwing series, I'm rereading it. I've read it before. I know what happens, but yet I still care about these characters so deeply, and I just connect with them on such a deep level that they're just amazing. They really are. If you haven't read Silverwing, pick them up. They're amazing, and I truly believe that everyone should read them. This book is from Kenneth Opal's. This is the first book. It's the Airborne series. His next one of the other books in the series is called Skybreaker. This is about a young boy named Matt Cruz, who's on a big luxury sort of airship. That's where he lives. That's where he works as a cabin boy. This book I just picked up today, but I'm already recommending it because it is Kenneth Opal and because it is his writing, and I just know that I'm going to love it. So I'll just read the back here. While crossing the Pacificus, Matt fearlessly rescues the unconscious pilot of a crippled hot air balloon. Before he dies, the balloonist tells him about the fantastic, impossible creatures he has seen flying through the clouds. Matt dismisses the story as the ravings of a dying man, but when Kate DeVries arrives on the Aurora a year later, determined to prove the story to be true, Matt finds himself caught up in her quest. Then one night in the middle of the ocean, deadly air pirates board the Aurora. Far from any hope of rescue, Kate and Matt are flung into adventures beyond all imagining. And it's gotten very, very good reviews from many different people. I've heard very good things about it, and it's Kenneth Opal, so I just know I'm going to love it. I know it. I picked it up today. I was in the clothing bank store, actually, which sounds a bit strange, but being on a budget, I do often buy secondhand clothes, and also, I mean, there's nothing wrong with secondhand clothes. They're perfectly fine. You just wash them, and they're fantastic, really. But also, I love picking up books secondhand. So that's fantastic. The next book I have to recommend to you all is a book called Swoon by Nina Malkin. And I think that's my husband coming downstairs. Yes, it is. Hi, Annie.
Cheers. How are you? What are you doing? You doing a video?
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
So the next book I have to recommend is a book called Swoon by Nina Malkin. It's very similar to, it has a lot of similarities to the Twilight series. So again, it's not going to be a book that you're really going to want to sink your teeth into, or a book that's really going to make you think. But again, it's one of those books that if you just want a very lighthearted read, it's very, very good. I didn't really enjoy the Twilight series myself, but these books I found I've enjoyed quite a bit more. They seem to have, even though they're often compared to the Twilight series, I find they have quite a bit more depth, and the writing is just infinitely better in my opinion. So the next book on my list is a book called Enchanted by Alethea Contis. Sorry, Alethea, if I'm not pronouncing your name properly. This is the Woodcutter Sisters series. If you like fairy tales, you will love, love, love these books. These books combine everything from fairy tales. They combine fairy tales, The Frog Prince, Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. You'll see Cinderella. You'll see Sleeping Beauty. You'll see elements of all of these. You'll even see elements of Hansel and Gretel in this series. So if you're looking for something a bit more substantial, you're just starting to get into young adult reading, or even if you are an adult and you're a kid at heart like me and you just love fairy tales, you will adore this book. Again, it's a very lighthearted read. I seem to have a lot of very lighthearted reads on this list. Anyway, it's a very lighthearted read. It's very, very good. I've just started it and I'm really enjoying it, so I will definitely do a book review both on my blog and on here when I've finished it, and update on my thoughts if that's something you guys would like to see. And the last book on my list is, of course, another Kenneth Apple book, Firewing. Now, this is the third book in the Silverwing series, and it is, quite honestly, this is my favorite book out of the Silverwing series. I raved about the Silverwing series earlier in this video, and Kenneth Apple's writing is just, it's so good. It's so good. Now you're probably wondering why I would pick up a book that's in such condition. You know, it's not exactly in the greatest condition. There's no pages falling out, but it obviously did get wet at some point, which is why I keep my books, when I take them with me, I keep them in a waterproof backpack that I have, or a waterproof book sleeve. But anyway, the reason why I buy secondhand copies of books, and also I will go out and buy a brand new copy of this book, but I always like to have a new copy and an older copy. And then also, if a book gets re-released with new covers, like for example, if there's a US cover and a UK cover, I will want a copy of each of them. But I always like to have one copy that's kind of older or not in as good condition for annotating purposes. I like to go through and write in, and I like to tag the pages of the older books, the copies of books that are not in such great condition. I like to use them so that way then I can write in the margins, and I can highlight, and I can tag pages, and I don't have to worry about ruining a brand new book that I've just bought. And then I still get to have my annotated copy and a copy that I've and then some other copies just for reading purposes. So, and then I can go back and see kind of what my thoughts were, you know, while I was reading it. And it's quite enjoyable that way. So anyway, so that's that. This is a Red Maple Award honor book. It won a Mr. Christie's Book Award silver medal. It's really just it is written for a younger audience. So just be aware of that if and when you pick it up. A lot of Kenneth Oppel's books are written towards a younger audience. I tend to enjoy his books quite a bit. Even though they are aimed at a younger audience, I tend to enjoy them quite a bit. But yeah, I think that even if you're an adult, I think you'll absolutely love it. I think no one said it better than the Vancouver Sun. Firewing is a fantastic read, whether you're 8 or 80, from the Vancouver Sun, and I think nobody says it better than that. Kenneth Oppel he is my absolute favorite author in the world. I would give almost anything for the chance to meet him and to get a signed copy of a book from him. It would just be fantastic. Now, my lovely husband here I'm not entirely sure what he's doing. It looks like he's cutting plastic canvas. Yeah, so my husband has an online store where he does plastic canvas. So he makes all kinds of things, bookmarks, coasters, book sleeves, all kinds of stuff. And he is going to be donating 30% of anything that he makes over the next year, or maybe even the next couple years, depending upon how it goes, to the mental health organizations in our area. So if you'd be interested in that, if you're interested in supporting mental health or know someone who might be, or even if you just love to read, his bookmarks are really fantastic. This is one he did for the Hufflepuff Harry Potter house. They're double-sided, so they're very durable. They'll last you a really, really, really long time. And this is one of the Gryffindor coasters that he did. Like I said, he does coasters. Again, they're double-sided. Everything he does is very durable, and it's very, very high quality stuff. So if you're interested in that, or if you'd like to order something, he can do custom orders as well. So if you're interested in that, please don't hesitate. I will link the website to his online store in the description box if you're interested, and I'll also link my Twitter account, my blog, and our Facebook account as well. My husband and I, we share one Facebook account, so I will link all that stuff in the description box below. And I hope you all have a lovely night, and I will see you next time. Okay, bye.